Hi YouTube, my name is Kylie Mae and this is my channel. Hi YouTube, so I'm going to talk about flying while transitioning. Now I have flown many of times, whether it be in the military or before I joined the military. I've done it, I'm comfortable with flying, I have no problem with it. Until now. This last time was the first time I've done it while transitioning. And I was very nervous because I didn't know, one, I didn't know what I should wear, and two, I didn't know how TSA was going to be with it. So I just kind of rolled with it and didn't really I didn't really plan on saying anything. I just kind of went with it. I was flying from Baltimore to Chicago and going to my grandma's funeral in Wisconsin. Now, luckily it was only one trip there and one trip back. Didn't have to stop at any other airports to get on other planes. So it was only having to deal with the same people for one short flight, thankfully. I have seen some other videos on YouTube of other transgender people who have flown before, who've had good flying experiences and some who have had bad experiences. So I was wasn't sure how I was going to go with this. So it started off with me going to Baltimore at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll show you a picture of what I wore and how I looked so lovely on this beautiful morning. Now, I wasn't really planning on being dolled up or anything because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't sure how people are going to react, and especially with TSA, I don't feel like getting pulled to the side and, So a gentleman ushered me to the check-in gate and told me to go to the next stall, I guess, and he's like, "This way, ma'am," and then he stopped for a second and was like, "Sorry, sir." And I was still in that transition period where people were calling me ma'am, but then maybe thinking, "Sir? Was that right?" But lately I've been getting ma'amed a lot, which, thank you. I checked my luggage in and I proceeded to go to TSA line, and that's when I was kind of getting nervous because I wasn't sure if anything was going to set the machines off or, just the stuff you see in the news, just the crazy stuff. So I'm sitting there, finally go through, and I had my arms up, and then after that was done, I was told to come out, and the guy had the wand, and he asked me if I had anything in my pockets. I made sure I emptied it because I did not want to have an incident. Then he asked me a question, I think he asked me a question to gauge what voice went with his body, and it still kind of confused him, I think, because he kind of gave a look. I was finally told I was good to go. I went to my gate, got on the plane, and no incident from there. Nothing really happened on the plane flight. I was stuck between two guys, and I was tired, and I fell asleep with my head on the tray. Comfortable. But now on the way back, I did wear something a little bit more girly, and I'll pop up a picture here to show you what I wore. I did feel a little bit more comfortable. I figured, why not, I'll just go for it and see how it goes. I should state that my documents still say Kyle, and it does have the gender marker male. I am actually in the process of getting that worked on right now. So that was kind of one of the big issues that I didn't want to have with going through airport security. I wasn't trying to cause an incident with people thinking I had a fake ID or I was trying to deceive people. This was like right when the whole bathroom thing was going down with North Carolina. But I figured, why not just be comfortable with who you are and just travel. I dropped off my rental car, I was walking through the airport, I went to go check my luggage in, and United has it a little different at O'Hare than it does in Baltimore. In Baltimore, I just brought it to the person and they did the whole tag and on its way. Chicago was a little different. I was walking up and it said step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of thing going on, and the lady was like, "Ma'am, right here." So I go do that. Well, I messed it up apparently because I went up there and the guy told me to go back and do it again because I did it wrong. Oops. So I'm printing off the sticker tag for my suitcase, and I walked off to the side, and a French lady was like, lady, you forgot your receipt." That's a horrible accent, but she did say lady, and that's what I took from it. I was happy about that. And as I went up to go give my suitcase to the gentleman, I gave him my ID also. Like I said, my ID still has male on it, it has shorter hair, and it has a beard. Doesn't really look like me. Once I placed my luggage sticker on the luggage itself and I brought it up to the guy in the line, I gave him my ID and he took it and he looked at me, looked at the ID, and then he looked over me, to look for the gentleman in the picture. He didn't look at me. He thought someone dropped this, and he was about to give it back, and he's like, where is this guy? And as he gave it back, he fumbled it. I picked it off the ground, gave it back, and yeah, he's like, yeah, where is this guy? And I was like, it's me. And he kind of like looked and he like, oh, not in a dickish way, like, oh, fucking she-male. And he's like, alright, so you're going to want to go blah 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 this way, yada yada yada. Now, it made me laugh a lot, and it made me feel really good to be overlooked by my own ID. He pointed me to the TSA line where I sat for 40 minutes, and that was my next biggest thing, because I knew Baltimore wasn't too bad, but I figured Chicago might be a little different. As I was waiting in line for 40 minutes, there's a gentleman up there who was taking IDs and tickets, and he finally took mine, looked at it, and he like kind of hunkered down. Like just before this with like everyone else except the girl in front of me and her, he did the same thing for. He kind of took his little desk and he hunkered down looking at the ticket, and he's like, alright, here you guys go. He did the same thing with me, which I thought was kind of strange, but I think he was just kind of like, he knew, but he didn't. He's like, I ain't getting in trouble, so here you go. Went through the scanners again, no big issue. Had to pee because hormones. Used the women's because I showed you the picture. I ended up waiting for the flight, got on the plane. I sat in a really good spot that had really good leg room. The lady who sat next to me, she did ask me a question, but I wasn't talking. I didn't talk for a while, so you know how you don't say anything for a while and your voice kind of does something stupid like that? My voice came out a little deeper than I wanted to, and the lady kind of like, huh? When I answered back. And from that point on, she didn't talk to me for the rest of the flight. It's fine. Whatever. I crept on the video that she was watching. Got off the plane, got my luggage, got to my car, went home at midnight, got back up for school at 5 a.m. for finals. It was a long weekend, especially for a funeral, and then have to go back to school. I wish I would have been able to stay back home longer than I was, but stuff happens. All in all, I would say the whole flying experience wasn't as bad as I expected, which is good. I have really no complaints about it. But that is all for my video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys subscribe, like, share the video. If you guys message me or leave a comment, I try to get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, thank you. Alright, so today I'm gonna fuck this up.